Let's try that again. Faster and more intense.
Do you want the banter?
That was the only line of direction that George Lucas was known for giving to Mark, Harrison, and Carrie on the set of Star Wars.
The first one or any of them?
I'm pretty sure, like, I can't remember. It's in Empire of Dreams that they're talking about it, the documentary of the making.
What was it? Faster, louder, and with more feeling?
No, it's faster and more intense.
Faster and more intense.
Yeah.
I need to talk just so that we have my voice to compare everything to.
Why are you talking like that? We must listen to Jordan's voice now.
I didn't mean to. I guess I didn't realize I was talking weird.
A little weird?
I didn't.
We'll hear it on the playback.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we were all good there.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Mics are hot.
Hot mic. Do you have any it's 6:21. Yikes.
It's your Friday. You'll survive.
It is Friday.
It's my Friday, too.
It's also Friday the 13th.
Whoa.
We were going to do a serious episode about depression and the effects that it can have on the family structure in the 21st century. But it was Friday the 13th, so that's what we're going to do instead.
and we just had the 4th of July, and we didn't want to bum everybody out.
So it's Friday the 13th, which is pretty neat. I feel like I'm loud. I'm just a loud man today.
Unless, of course, you're not listening to this on the day we put it out.
That's true.
Then it may be Saturday the 14th.
Happy belated Friday the 13th if you're not checking out this episode when it drops. Friday the 13th has always been like a weird semi-holiday. Being raised Catholic, we didn't like adhere to all of this evil stuff.
Yeah,
so anyways, I was looking into what Friday the 13th is all about, and apparently it started sometime after the 19th century got kicked off, and it may have arisen in the Middle Ages regarding the story of the Last Supper occurring on a Friday, and there were 13 people in the room. Then the next day, I don't know, a bunch of people got together and crucified a couple people. So that's a bummer. Anyways, that's the story behind Friday the 13th. And
well, that's going to be a quick episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Hanks lied to us.
Thanks for checking in. Oh, we also need to do the opening. Welcome back to We Sound Like Nerds, official podcast of the We Sound Like Nerds podcast.
You used that one last week.
Friday the 13th. It's our default. Hold on. Welcome back to We Sound Like Nerds Spookcast. We know it's not Halloween, and it's Friday the 13th. I was also thinking we could do all of the voices that I know how to do. Poorly.
Poor voices.
Yeah.
How many are there?
There's a few. I was singing to Jordan, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go. Like the guy from...
well, I was in the middle of ordering my food.
I don't care. I'm important.
They're standing there staring at me, waiting for me to...
You remember the band Live?
You did this in line?
Yeah, I called...
I was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
He called me when he was getting into line, so really whose fault is it?
Oh, no. I thought
I didn't realize I was going to get the whole spiel of your podcast intro.
Yeah.
I just thought you were doing the voices while you're both standing in line.
No, I was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, should I do my impression of the guy from Live? Lightning crashes, a new motor crash. Remember that song?
If I heard the actual song, but based off your rendition,
to the floor.
Sounds...
opens her eyes.
Okay, there you go. That's the hook.
Yeah.
Nope. Never heard it.
No?
No? It's a good song.
I've never even heard of the band.
Live. Yeah, they were kind of 90s.
I think so.
Early 2000s.
They might have been back in the 80s, too. I don't know.
Because I like doing voices. I think they're fun. My dad used to be able to do a really good Ernie.
Ernie?
Yeah, from Sesame Street.
Oh.
Hey there, Bert.
It's me, Bobby. Bobby's World?
That was Howie Mandel. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I was looking at.
I guess Stitch, too. Could be.
Mhm. Yep. That's pretty close to, like, Rod's voice from,
Oh, yeah.
what was that show? Aqua Team?
Yes.
Hunger Force?
Yep. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Yep.
Good stuff. Now that we've gotten off track, we're here today.
We need more personality tests.
We need more personality tests. Jordan took the Myers-Briggs personality test on the website 16personalities.com, free plug.
And I'm kind of calling bullshit on it
Yeah, I think you took it wrong.
because I got the exact same as both Kyle and John, and I am
We're just
definitely not like Kyle and John.
No.
Yeah.
No
We're-
offense to them, but
We're having an INTP party over here. INTP?
INTP, yep.
So, were you giving a lot of answers that were, like, in the middle?
I spaced it out. I had a lot that were...
I think we should have you retake it today. And then next episode, we'll talk about what your newer results are.
It just takes so long.
It takes 12 minutes.
It's 10 pages of 10 questions each or whatever.
Didn't take us that long.
Didn't seem like it took that long.
No.
When you're in the middle of taking it, it's just like, all right, next question.
When you're sitting there listening to you guys take it, it did kind of seem a little long
I can imagine that if you're just sitting here
Well,
listening.
because we almost talked about every question when we asked it.
Yeah, that's true.
Every other question we probably went into. So, anyways, Friday the 13th, we're getting off track because I don't know what Kyle's going to talk about.
Me?
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
What did you bring to talk
What
about?
was I supposed to bring?
Something scary.
Oh, scary stuff. Okay, yeah. All right. So I figured probably like a trek down memory lane. You go with the ones that scared you the best. Usually the ones when you were younger. So I remember one of the scary games that I played, like when I first started playing video games, more than like I think it was the kid down the street had a PlayStation, like when it first came out.
Yeah.
And the game D. I don't remember if that one was that.
Yes.
Do you remember that one?
That was a launch title, I think.
Was it? It was yeah.
close to a launch title.
I remember that one being like really creepy. And it was kind of when I learned I had an affinity for video games when none of the other older kids could beat the game. And I got to the end and I'm like, all right, that wasn't that hard, I guess.
Sweet.
Yeah. So then the first Resident Evil, that was another one we played over there. And that one was just, I don't know if it's just like you're a little kid and you're just like, oh, this is awesome. And you just get freaked out a little more. I'd say like as a kid myself, one that I played, the first one was Silent Hill. That one scared the shit out of me. Like
that was on PS1, right?
Yeah.
It was all foggy.
I think when I first got a PS1, that was one of the ones out there. Oh, yeah.
I was never able to get my hands on like scary games. I think Resident Evil 2 I was able to pick up.
Speaking of which, that new one,
Yeah, the
that
remake
actually looks
awesome.
pretty creepy, man.
I'm excited. After how good I thought Resident Evil 7 turned out, I'm excited to see what they're doing now. Because for a while there, like 5 and 6 were complete garbage.
Yeah. I don't even think I played. Yeah, I didn't play the. What was it? Biohazard?
Resident QuickTime Evil.
Yeah. Was it a lot of QuickTime?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just played
6 was very bad.
I think I played the demo and I was like, well, if it's all in first person, that's kind of cool. But
7 is all in first person. 6 and 5 weren't. But yeah. 7.
They became shooters in the middle there.
Yeah. And 7 does at the end, like the final act.
Oh, it does.
You finally get guns and stuff, and but I thought it was a much needed refresher for the series.
Definitely.
Nothing.
You keep tapping. Research shows that Paranormal Activity 1 is the scariest movie you've ever seen. Or was number 2 scarier?
Oh,
you don't watch any scary
You're calling
movies.
me research.
Yeah. Research shows. Because you're the senior research analyst.
Well, you threw me off. I thought you meant there was actually research done and it was...
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Like the way you phrased it was totally that, like, here are statistical facts.
So...
But yes, I hate scary movies.
Yeah.
My roommate in college made me watch Chucky once and I have never forgiven him.
See, now, Chucky did scare me, but I think I was like 6 when I saw it. So like,
Yeah, I
it
was
was
in
at a very impressionable age where I'm like, oh, this, like every doll I looked at, or not doll, but like the action figure and shit, you're just like, is it looking at me? Is it gonna come after me?
Yeah, I was in college.
Yeah,
and it
you're
scared the shit out of
19?
me. So
19 or 20?
I was 20 or 21.
Oof, that's not good. But you saw Paranormal Activity and Paranormal Activity 2, correct?
I'm pretty sure I even saw the third one too.
Okay, I think I've seen...
Because the second one is
They kept getting uploaded to Netflix. So, like, I had seen a bunch of them that I hadn't seen in theaters.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, which one scared you the most?
Probably the third one. Because the third one is where they're like back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's like them as kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the third one was good due to the fact that I had I still have 2 older sisters that were kind of the same way. Like they'd play with each other and not with me because I was the little brother. And there was a lot of stuff, and being a kid of the 80s, I was like, oh, I remember shit like that in our room and stuff with demons and things that they would talk to. And yeah, so I liked the third one. The first one kind of kicked off this whole craze.
Yeah.
I know Blair Witch was out before it, but this was like, I don't know, it's pretty much new ground for a popular movie. Low budget.
So like on a camcorder type
Yeah.
recording? Okay.
Pristine editing, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's something no one ever talks about. Who put this movie so nicely together? There's a funny theory. I remember how popular Blair Witch was when Blair Witch first came out. When they were promoting the movie, they actually some areas thought these actors had actually gone missing in the woods.
Oh,
Because
really?
they had made up missing posters for the cast.
Huh.
And so people actually thought oh, these people actually went missing filming this movie. And so it kind of drummed up some excitement for when the movie
Gotcha.
came out. Because this was pre-internet, so...
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like that would really go far in the internet age now.
Well, it would either go far or it would be debunked, in a few hours.
That's the thing. It would be short-lived.
That's like Paranormal Activity actually tricked a lot of people that I knew into thinking it was real. But all it took was you Googling the actors and you would see them at the premiere.
Yeah.
And know that it was fake.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of people. I did show that to a lot of people that know.
Oh, they're so we're talking about stupid people, right? Stupid people that
It fits.
The latest thing that really bugs the shit out of me is when people make fake movie trailers for movies that haven't started filming yet, and then they get shared a few 100,000 times on Facebook and stuff. It's there was a live action Lion King trailer that was making the rounds a couple weeks ago. And
That wasn't real?
No. I'm no, they just finished casting. All of the footage from the trailer is just cut up from the live action Jungle Book movie. And
Okay, that's probably why.
So mad. I was irrationally mad about this. And then a guy I work with, he was like, hey, did you see the trailer for It Part 2? And I'm like, no, I didn't, because that's impossible. They haven't started filming yet. What? Yeah, they haven't started filming it. Casting was finally just announced 2 weeks ago. They have not started filming. Oh man, now I feel terrible. It looks so good. I'm yeah, they just recut footage from the first movie and probably stuff from the ABC special from the 90s and just hammered that in, and you can put it under music. Ugh, makes me mad.
Did you watch it then to see what it came from, or did you just not even waste your time?
I didn't waste my time because I will not give credit to people who are out there just fooling people, even though they deserve to be fooled if they're so stupid to think oh yeah, Lion King, that movie that's coming out in 2020. Yeah, obviously they have a trailer out considering it's going to be 100% CGI. Did you see the trailer for Infinity War Part 2? It's that sort of thing. Come on. I was that way.
Didn't they film those back to back though? I thought
say,
they filmed
don't
it
you
all in
think
one chunk,
they-
like the Lord of the Rings.
They could potentially have footage of that though, because
They could. They do have production stills. We could get into spoilers for that.
No,
Jordan doesn't want to.
I want to be surprised.
Did you have anything else scary?
No, that was pretty much it. I just
Okay.
went video game heavy on that.
I got a big chunk of thing here. So my recommendation, I didn't want to go with like the classic Friday the 13th go-tos, like Friday the 13th movies or Halloween movies
Or It.
or Nightmare on Elm Street. That's just kind of like the movies people jump to when they think scary movie. So I'm going with a more of a obscure title. I think I've mentioned it on here before. And it was when it first came onto Netflix, but it's Gerald's Game on Netflix. And it's a Stephen King adaptation about a husband and wife who go to a kind of secluded lake cabin to have some hanky-panky weekend. And he handcuffs her to the bedpost and then has a heart attack and dies.
Oh, wow.
And so she's handcuffed to the bedpost, and it turns into a isolation horror, psychological horror, kind of body horror towards the end with like stuff that happens during the movie. And it actually stayed with me longer than I thought it would.
Oh, one of those.
For a movie that really, I mean, it's good. It was better than I thought it would be, with the kind of slight twist that we'll get into when we talk about spoilers. But it stars Carla Gugino, Gugino. If you saw her, you would remember what she's from. And Bruce Greenwood, who is he's not like a major actor. He played JFK in, I think, 13 Days, which was the Cold War movie about the Cuban Missile Crisis.
I don't think I saw that.
But he looks like a cookie cutter NCIS or CSI lead man.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what he looks like. No offense to him. He has just a basic Hollywood actor face. Like, he's super handsome at 60 or whatever he is.
Hey, I think that worked out pretty well for those CSI people.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably still raking.
They definitely don't make any money from those shows.
Yeah, they're still raking in the residuals, so...
It's weird what they do, because like the movie opens and you're like, oh, right, kind of a sexy thriller kind of movie that's happening here. If you've seen the previews, oh no, he dies. It also it shines a bad light on like kinky relationships because after he handcuffs her, it turns out like her husband's actually pretty abusive, and like, why would you put yourself into this position? And I think Hollywood does that more often than shows like us, like the softer side of kinky stuff, like bondage and that sort of thing. It always has negative connotations in most media.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's never shown in like a positive way. Like, sometimes spicing stuff up can help relationships. And then, yeah, he goes ahead and dies. And so she has to figure out how to get out of the situation because both of her hands are handcuffed to the bedposts. And, so she starts, I guess we'll get into why I think it's super creepy and a good movie for Friday the 13th to watch tonight. So she starts having hallucinations from dehydration and like lack of not being handcuffed to the bed. And like, I think it's a wolf. But like a wolf gets into the house because like they had left one of the doors open.
Oh.
So he smells the dead body and he like comes in and starts like chewing on it, and like he goes up under the bed and like bites her ankle.
Oh, dang.
And stuff, and she's like, freaking out. But she starts hallucinating, and during her hallucinations, one of the nights she sees a deformed, like obscure figure in like the shadows, like watching her. And she continues to hallucinate that her husband is like alive and like gets up and like mocks her for not being able to free herself, or like is like very emotionally and psychologically abusive. Her husband's like, oh yeah, that's death, he's coming for you. And the figure like pulls out this bag of like bones and teeth and like other trinkets that like death takes when he takes the body and stuff. So it's fairly unsettling, but she's hallucinating or whatever. And she like closes her eye and she's like, you're not there, you're not there, you're not there. And she falls asleep finally. And so she wakes up and like her husband's back again because she's hallucinating that he's alive. He's like, yeah, death was here. There is a bloody footprint, like leading away from her husband's body where the wolf had been like chewing at him. And so she's like, okay, I'm hallucinating footprints now. And her husband's face is like eaten off as well. So like the animals were back in over the night. That's the creepy stuff that happens in the movie. And it's just unsettling enough where if you don't want the twist spoiled, I would just recommend ending the episode here. And thanks for coming. Go watch it and then come back and listen to the rest. But so spoiler.
What if we don't want it spoiled?
You can leave the room, Jordan. Either of you care?
Oh, I don't.
It's a Netflix movie.
I'm
You're not
never
gonna have to
gonna
pay
watch
for it. So she does escape finally, and as she's escaping, the like figure that she had been hallucinating that she thought was death is like in the hallway outside of their room, and like he like comes forward and stuff, and he's like, ugh. And so she gives him her wedding ring, and like puts it in there, and he lets her pass or whatever. She gets into a car, crashes it. She gets saved or whatever. Like they get the husband's body out of there. They never find her ring that she like left like in the house or whatever, where she assumed she left it when she saw death or whatever. And she starts a foundation for abused women and children. So like, yay, good stuff. She's flipping through the paper, and a serial killer was finally captured. And it was someone that has acromegaly. The actor Richard Kiel had it, who played Jaws from the Bond movies.
What is the condition?
It's kind of like your jaw continues to grow, and your head kind of becomes rectangular shaped.
Okay.
Your body basically keeps growing.
Oh, okay. So you get big, but
you get big and then you die pretty young. Your voice gets distorted and like gets really deep, and your brow kind of comes forward. So you kind of you end up
looking like a caveman.
Kind of like a caveman.
Gotcha.
And the serial killer / cannibal was real, and he had made it to their lake house.
Oh man!
And had been watching her sleep, but he was known to dig up graves of men and then also kill men and like eat their faces, and would take trinkets as trophies, and like that's what the bag was.
Oh, that's
and so he had come across her and her husband, waited for her to fall asleep, ate his face, like waited to see if she would die too, because like at that point,
well, if he only ate men, maybe it was a
but it's something about knowing that he was real.
Yes.
That like completely like floored me at the end. I'm like, oh my God, he was real. Oh my God, he was real. I'm a pretty average height person. I'm more on the short side than average, I would say. Tall things freak me out. Bigfoot. Chewbacca's nice, but like, I was almost going to say Harry and the Hendersons is the scariest movie I remember seeing as a kid because I was terrified of Bigfoot.
Oh.
So yeah.
Did you live in the woods?
I lived up in the woods.
Okay, so
from Duluth, Minnesota.
That would explain it.
So we had bears in our yard and that sort of thing. So
dang.
Tall things. Ugh. So yeah, just the fact that this guy was real, had eaten her husband's face, even though he wasn't a very good guy, almost was gonna, could have eaten her. Very unsettling. Very, very creepy and unsettling. So yeah, that's my Friday the 13th suggestion. Gerald's Game on Netflix. It's not very long. It's a Netflix original, and it's probably one of the best Stephen King adaptations that I've seen.
Nice.
Because most of them, they divert a lot from the source material. It notwithstanding. Storm of the Century notwithstanding. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But other than that, he hasn't had the best luck with people adapting his works to cinema. Anyone been nerding out on stuff? Because I've been playing Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy III, because I've been cracking out my Super Nintendo Classic a lot more.
Oh, it's on there?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I've played Mega Man X pretty much to death, so that's on there. Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Country. A lot of RPGs. So there's Super Mario RPG,
Nice. That's a good one.
Final Fantasy 3, Earthbound,
I don't know if
Secret
I've
of
ever played that one.
Mana.
Secret of Mana is a good one.
I feel like there's one more. Super Castlevania 4 is on there. Super Metroid, Star Fox 2, which was never released. Super Punch Out, Street Fighter 2. We played some Street Fighter 2 when you were over.
It's got those tiny controllers, though, right? Or the short cord.
Fairly short cord.
Yeah.
At least it's not as bad as the Nintendo Classic, because I think it was only a 2-foot or 3-foot cord that came with those.
Remember when you had to sit right in front of the TV because your TVs were only at most 20 inches?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. But anyways, that's what I've been nerding out on. What about you, Kyle?
I have no idea, man. I'm
You've been watching Game of Thrones.
Yes.
We forgot to fucking talk about Game of Thrones.
Man, we used to just take our bikes everywhere. Like literally anywhere in town, you could just take your bike and you could just leave it out front and not have to worry about it. Like nowadays, definitely can't do that.
Shit. Like I was thinking about this last week. Like if I was a kid living back when I was living where we live now, I'd be walking up to the gas station like every day to get stuff. Imagining my kids doing that, I'm like, no, there's no way you're leaving the yard. If I cannot see you, something is wrong. Like, it is such a different time.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about Game of Thrones. It's your first time watching the series. We talked about it a little bit last week. You weren't quite finished, but now you finished.
Yeah, you had just gotten to a part where somebody had done something. I remember
Every
it vaguely.
episode.
I want to say it was.
You had just gotten to episode 8. Or you had just finished 8.
How did 8 end?
I thought it was 6.
It was 8.
Was it
Because it was
Tyrion?
Baelor. Because it was about the battle against Robb.
Oh, yes, where they declared him King of the North. Or was that episode 9?
That might have been episode 9. That might have been episode 10, because Ned would have had to have died.
Oh, that's right. Yes, and Ned didn't die till the end.
Yeah. He dies in the penultimate episode at the end. And then Jory, whoever the Night Watch handler is, grabs Arya and he's like, "You remember me, don't you, boy?"
Yeah, and she's like, "I'm not a boy."
Yes, you are. You're a boy. Let's cut off your hair. Come with me, boy.
So who was that guy to Ned? Just a friend?
Yeah, that's just the recruiter for the Night's
I wasn't
Watch.
sure if they had like a previous friendship or if they were just...
They might have. Like Ned's younger brother is in the Night's Watch. He was in the first episode.
Oh, that's his younger brother?
Benjen.
Benjen.
Uncle Benjen.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He's in the Night's Watch. And so, like, he would know that guy.
Yeah.
And, like, with Winterfell being positioned where it is at the northmost kingdom, he probably came through there a lot.
I was going to say, I
looking
think
for
that's
people.
where... He might have even said something about there, going through the dungeons and...
Yeah, picking up people along the King's Road
Yeah.
to recruit for the Night's Watch. So where do you think the show's going to go?
Well, I mean, from how much you guys have talked about it, I'm pretty much kind of know where things are going to end. I know at least what characters are going to be alive in season 7.
Okay.
So that's about it. Other than that, I'm just sort of enjoying the ride.
Did you enjoy the first season?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That first episode makes it seem like it's going to be really magic heavy with ice zombies and stuff.
Oh,
showing up.
yeah.
And then really...
That's like the only magic in there, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much for the first season.
Yeah.
Second season, you get some Lord of Light stuff with Stannis Baratheon. He's going to be a new character that you're going to see.
Sweet. Robert's brother?
Robert's older brother, I believe,
Oh.
yes. Hanging out at Dragonstone.
Where's that? Further south?
It's an island southeast of pretty much Westeros.
Okay.
Are you guys doing anything exciting for Friday the 13th? Let us know over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/We Sound Like Nerds, on Twitter at WSLN Podcast, and leave comments on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm going to go do my first game of D&D, and we'll talk to you next time we talk to you. For We Sound Like Nerds, I've been your host, John Grinzel.
Kyle?
And Jordan.
And we'll talk to you guys next time we talk at you. Bye bye.